We will now begin a round of 5-minute questions of our witnesses, and I do ask my colleagues to keep track of your time and stay within those 5 minutes. Each of you has testified about the importance of the investments the President's budget proposal makes in your agencies. I want to drill down for a minute and make clear to this committee what the stakes really are. If we do not pass bipartisan spending bills, if we end up flatlining spending and not making any policy decisions this year under a continuing resolution, or if we cut non-defense spending back by billions, what can you say in this open setting about the worst impacts and how far it will set us back in our ability to stay competitive with countries like China? And Secretary Austin, I will begin with you.
Thank you, Chair Murray. As I said before, no amount of money can make up for lost time. And as you said, Chair Murray, PRC is not waiting. Our budget reflects our strategy. We went to great pains to make sure that we linked our budget request to the strategy. And so without a budget, it's difficult to execute the strategy as designed. We can't execute new starts. Severe impacts to procurement, and it will affect readiness and our ability to build out our infrastructure as well. Specifically, what that means, it takes shipbuilding, for example. We could expect a $9.7 billion or so impact to shipbuilding. Our production rate increases. We won't be able to accomplish those. We won't be able to award the second a contract for the second Columbia-class submarine. We won't be able to start the production on the Virginia-class submarines. It will delay our ability to get the critical munitions that we need for ourselves and also to support our allies and partners as well. Munitions like Gimlers, Tomahawks, and AMRAAMs and Mark 48 torpedoes, just to name a few things, Chair. And again, the list is pretty extensive.
Thank you. Secretary Blinken?
Yes, thank you very much. I just say two things. First, if you look at this overall from our perspective before drilling down on China, if we were to end up in that world, our ability to do things that on a bipartisan basis Congress supports, including support for Ukraine and its neighbors, including countering harmful PRC influence and resourcing our Indo-Pacific strategy, including maintaining our leadership in everything from humanitarian assistance to global food security, we would be severely hindered in doing that. We'd also have real challenges when it comes to the investments that we need to make in security and in upgrades, physical and cyber, leaving our personnel, leaving our facilities, leaving our cyber defense more vulnerable than it otherwise would be. More specifically, in this region and with regard to China, we have in the budget a number of items that are critical in our judgment to being able to effectively counter China's growing influence in virtually every region of the world. It would reduce our efforts to engage and build the kinds of partnerships we need to push back against that influence, to make sure that the United States remains the partner of choice. We have, among many other things, funding provided in the budget to make significant investments and to enable us to catalyze private sector investment in critical infrastructure, in mining critical materials and rare earth materials, in making sure that we can help develop secure communications networks, undersea cables, and a secure cyberspace. In these and so many other ways, we would be significantly hindered. Beyond that, the investments that we need to make in our own personnel, expanding our missions in the Indo-Pacific, as we're in the process of doing, making sure that we attract and train the most effective talent, particularly when it comes to dealing with China. All of that would be hindered. And finally, and it's hard to quantify this, I think we'd be sending a broader message of retreat at a very time when we need to be sending the opposite message around the world.
Secretary Raimondo. You want to turn on your...
excuse me. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Yes. The Commerce Department is involved in both our offensive strategy, which is to say investing, and our defensive strategy, which is to say protecting our technology. So I'd like to very quickly highlight three ways that we would be very significantly impaired in our ability to meet the China challenge. First, BIS. So if we were to go back to 2022 levels, that would be about 125 fewer people in BIS. That's 125 fewer people to do end-use checks around export controls. Last year, we did 1,100 end-use checks in 54 countries, the vast majority related to China. With 125 fewer people, we would not be able to do all we do, and U.S. technology would get into the hands of malign actors in China. ITA, we have foreign commercial service officers in 79 countries all over the world. We would have to cut at a time when China is expanding. We wouldn't be present in Africa and South America, in the Indo-Pacific, in the way that we want to be. And finally, as it relates to investment, as you said, Senator Murray, we need to invest. NIST has the federal government's smartest minds around artificial intelligence and cyber. We need to be investing in that. We currently have $1 billion backlog of deferred maintenance at NIST. At the same time, China is investing in new facilities of their NIST equivalent. So I'll stop there in the interest of time, but it's significant.
Thank you very much. Senator Collins.